Hello and welcome to another episode of The Word for Kids. I'm Jamie and I'm guiding you through the books of 1st and 2nd Samuel in a series of 20 episodes. Last time we learned about the time David had a chance to get back at Saul. Saul found out where David was and went out to try to find him and kill him. Saul came to a cave and went inside to use the bathroom. While he was, busy, David came up to him and secretly cut off the edge of Saul's robe without Saul even noticing it. Then, after Saul left the cave, David called out to him and showed him the piece of the robe. Saul realized that David had the chance to kill him, but hadn't done it. And Saul was so moved that he cried out loud and told David that he was more righteous than Saul was, and that surely David would be king. David gave an oath to Saul that he would not kill Saul's descendants. And that's where we left off last time. Are you ready for today's adventure? Let's go! Now Samuel died, and all Israel assembled and mourned for him, and they buried him at his home in Ramah. Then David moved down into the desert of Paran. There was a wealthy man in Maon named Nabal. He was surly and mean. Surly just means he had a short temper and was unkind. But his wife Abigail was intelligent, which means she was very smart, and she was also beautiful. David was in the wilderness and learned that Nabal was shearing sheep. So he sent 10 young men to him. He told them, "Say to him, 'Long life to you, good health to you and your household, and good health to all that is yours. It is time to shear the sheep. When your shepherds were with us, we did not mistreat them. The whole time they were at Carmel, nothing of theirs was missing. So, in turn, be kind to my men. Please give your servants and your son David whatever you can find for them.'" David's men gave Nabal this message as instructed, but surly and mean Nabal was not kind with his answer. "Who is this David?" he said. "Why should I take my bread and water and the meat I have for my shearers and give it to men coming from who knows where?" So David's men returned to David and reported every word Nabal said. David said to his men, "Each of you strap on your sword." And 400 men went with David to confront Nabal. One of the servants told Abigail, "David sent messengers from the wilderness to give our master his greetings, but he hurled insults at them, even though these men were very good to us. See what you can do, because disaster is hanging over Nabal's head." Abigail acted quickly. She took 200 loaves of bread, wine, meat, grain, raisin cakes, and pressed figs, and loaded them on donkeys. She told her servants, "Go on ahead, I'll follow you." But she did not tell her husband Nabal. She met David and his men. David expressed his frustration with Nabal, that he had protected Nabal's property and his men, but Nabal had paid him back with evil. Abigail quickly got off her donkey and bowed down before David. She fell at his feet and said, "Please let me speak to you. Pay no attention to that wicked man Nabal. He is just like his name, which means fool. Forgive any offenses. Let this gift be given to the men who follow you. The Lord will make a lasting dynasty for you because you fight the Lord's battles. You will not have on your conscience the burden of needless bloodshed." David said to Abigail, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, who has sent you to me today. May you be blessed for your good judgment and for keeping me from bloodshed on this day." Let's pause right there for today's word of the day.
Hey kids! Eugene here with another word of the day. Today's word is good judgment. Good judgment is making the right choice, just like Abigail had good judgment when she made peace with David and Nabal. Good judgment.
David said to Abigail, "If you had not come quickly to meet me, not one male belonging to Nabal would have been left alive by daybreak." Then David accepted from her hand what she had brought him and said, "Go home in peace. I have heard your words and granted your request." When Abigail went to Nabal, he was holding a large banquet and was drunk, so she didn't tell him anything until the next day. In the morning, Abigail told him all that had happened, and his heart failed him, and he became like a stone. About 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal, and he died. When David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, "Praise be to the Lord, who has upheld my cause against Nabal, and kept me from doing wrong, and brought Nabal's wrongdoing on his own head." Then David sent word to Abigail, asking her to become his wife. Abigail quickly got on a donkey and, attended by her 5 female servants, went with David's messengers and became his wife. And that's where our story ends for today. Now it's time for the verse to remember. Today's verse is Romans 12:18. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. One more time. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12:18. That Bible verse from Romans fits so well with today's story. Did you notice the big difference between how Nabal treated David's men and how Abigail treated them? Nabal had the opportunity to show kindness to the men who had been kind to his shepherds and had helped protect his property, but instead he thought only of himself. He was greedy and stingy, and he didn't want to share what he had. Abigail, on the other hand, did show kindness to David and his men. She was generous with what she had, and she showed respect to David and his men. As a result of her kindness, things calmed down and there was peace between the groups of people. It's pretty simple to understand how this can apply to our own lives, isn't it? Just be kind. Any chance you get, anytime you have the choice, choose kindness. Think about other people and their needs. Your kindness may just be saving lives without you even knowing it. That's all we have for this time. I can't wait to see you again soon for another episode of The Word for Kids.